Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Share for April 25th, y'all. We've done it. It's almost May. I feel like the world's turning around. Everyone's getting their shots. This pandemic is hopefully we're on the backside of that. I'm beginning to see friends on social media who have taken all the precautions and done all the right things for the last 18 months, starting to travel, life returning to normal a little bit. Let's hope all that continues. Boy, I'm ready for some travel myself, see some friends, and do some new and exciting things this year. A few days ago, I shared a post. It was actually Sunday. I remember it very well, and it was one of those days that I have 2 or 3 times a year. And just to be quite honest with you, I'll give you a little bit of background on this. I've had to come to the realization, to the point in my life where I acknowledge, where I admit to myself that I'm just a person who works. I work a lot. I'm interested in a lot of things. Uh, the literary field is my primary interest. Journalism is a close second. I really enjoy working outside. There's a million things to do at Tranquility Base, physical work to keep those grounds the way I want them. Family responsibilities, which I welcome and I love, but I'm just one of those guys who works a lot. And I don't say that at all with any sense of self-pride. I mean, I know a lot of folks who talk about, I love to work, I work. I like to work, but I love to rest and I love to play. But I'm just not as good at those things as I am at work. And I find myself, I'm one of those people who spins a lot of plates and there's a lot of stuff going on all at the same time. And 2 or 3 times a year, I'll be doing that, and all of a sudden it'll just come crashing down. I find myself exhausted. I find myself wiped out. Just, I don't want to do anything. And I think, honestly, those of you who have read my stuff, I've got a history with depression. And I think that's a part of depression. It's something that you always have to be on guard against. And maybe, I don't know, maybe all those things are a defense mechanism against depression, staying busy and doing things. But ultimately, it comes to a point, and I know when these days are coming, when so many plates are spinning at one time, that it all just kind of comes crashing down. And I'm just wiped out for a couple of days. And I was going through that during a period last year when I was finishing up. We created 4 versions of The King of High Banks Road: an audiobook, an ebook, a hard book, and a paperback. And I self-published that book, and managing all that just literally in the final weeks. I was just totally depleted. That's the word. Total depletion. And so for many years now, I've taken the first 2 weeks of December. Sometimes I'll go somewhere, sometimes I'll just get away, but I dedicate that first 2 weeks of December to thinking about what the year was, and especially thinking about what the new year might be, developing a plan, trying to wrap my mind around what that next year looks like. And I was having one of those times during those 2 weeks. And I really began to break down my life. I really began to think through the components of my life. And I'm coming back now to the post I shared the other day. And I've shared a little bit of this with my kids as they're going through college and they're early into their careers and they're thinking about things. Here are the 4 components that I broke my life down into. And ever since, y'all, I'm not claiming this is some great revelation or whatever. It's just something that works for me, and I'm going to go ahead and share it with you because a handful of people asked. But here's the way that I look at my life, and I kind of look, this is not an original thought. I've heard it, I've read it somewhere before. I think of each of the 4 as kind of a bucket, and one of those buckets, when it gets too empty and they kind of get out of balance, you got to go over here and fill this bucket, and then you got to fill these 2 buckets to make everything complete and make everything whole in your life. So the 4 buckets that I have are, I've got my notes here: my love, my passion, my gift, and my calling. And I'm so happy that I took time to think about that, because I think, as we get older, we get a little bit wiser and we think about this stuff. But I was misconstruing a lot of those things, and I was thinking about several of them in the same way and confusing some of those things. So here, when I looked at those 4 words on paper and I really began to think about it, here's how I looked at my life. Number one, my love. What is my love? What is at the foundation of my heart and my love? It is my family. It is my 2 daughters, my son, my wife, and my mom. I mean, that's my immediate family right now. That's my core group. That's who, that's when I think of family, that's what I think about. And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I've written about this too. There was a time in my life a few years back when I was divorced and I was going through this depressive time. I mean, I just wasn't the best father. I wasn't the best husband. I wasn't the best son. I felt in many ways incapacitated. And I made a renewed pledge to myself last year that I would specifically carve time for family and be intentional about family. And we're lucky. We're not, all of us, we're not separated by more than 100 or 200 miles, really. So it's easy for us to get together. And I've made it a point as much as possible ever since then, at least, I mean, not to go beyond 30 days without having a group family together thing. We've got a restaurant now in a little place called Waldenburg, a little dive that we go to frequently just as a family. It's called Pintails. We love going there. Today, for example, my daughter Emma, my oldest daughter, who has been the performing arts director at Jonesboro High School, is looking at a new career. She's gained admission to an intensive nursing program that'll last a year. We're having everyone over tonight. I am, as we speak, I can see the smoke out on the patio. I've got ribs and chicken going. We're going to get together. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have family time. And so I recognize my love as my family, and I work hard. It's not that I have to work hard. It's just I try to do better. I mean, that's all we can do, right? I try to be a better father and a better husband and a better son and be intentional about it. So that's my love. My passion, y'all, and here's where I started getting all that stuff muddied for all those years. And again, I think it's just a product of youth. But sit down sometime and think about your passion. What is it that when you think about it or when you're doing it that just lights you up, man? It just makes you excited. You're thrilled to do it. You're eager. And it may sound kind of silly, but I sat down and I thought about that. And you know what my passion is? And I realized this was one of the reasons that I loved Anthony Bourdain so much, and I still miss him. My passion is cooking food and serving people. Anthony Bourdain understood better than anyone and first communicated better than anyone how sitting around a table with good food brings people of different colors and creeds and races and religions and everything else, how it brings us together in community. And Lord knows that community is one of the things that we need more of in the world today. We need community in our family. We need community in our workplace. We need community in our towns and our cities. We need community. We were designed for community. We were not designed to sit behind a computer all day and do this and hide behind this and make passive aggressive comments and do all that. We were designed for community. And the way that I fulfill community is through cooking food, whatever it is. It's just, that's my passion. So I recognize my love is my family, cooking and serving and hospitality as my passion, And then I think about my gift. And again, this was one of those things, and I'm sorry this is going long, y'all, but it takes a few minutes to explain these things. I go back and I think about my gift, and boy, I was really confusing I've always known what my gift was. I've only got one. I don't have a whole lot, but my gift is writing and mass communication, and I love doing that. And if you took writing away from me in a literary sense or in a journalistic sense or whatever, it would be like cutting off my arm. If I couldn't write on a daily basis, my life would be incomplete. But for so many years, because it was the only thing I felt like I was really pretty good at, I was misidentifying my gift of writing as also being my passion. I thought, well, this is what I do. I have to be passionate about it. Or this is what I do. It must also be my calling. Not true. And I was sharing with my daughter Sophie the other day, she's thinking about, and she's super smart, blew the top out of the ACT. Sophie can do anything she wants to do. But I was trying to explain to her one of the things that I've learned in life is that the thing you do for a living, while it may be your gift and it may be even part of your calling, may not be the thing that makes you happiest in life. It may not be your passion. It may not be the thing that really sets your heart on fire. It might be, and for people who get to have it that way, that's great. I think you're lucky. But my gift is not my passion. My gift is not my love. My gift is my gift, and I have a responsibility to use it. There's a verse of scripture, I forget exactly where it is, that says that we should walk in a manner worthy of our calling. And I love that. I love that verse of scripture because it reminds us that God has given us a gift, each one of us an individual gift that only we have, and we can use it only in the way that we can use it, and that we're responsible for that. So that's my love, my passion, my gift, and my calling is very simple, which is something that I've also thought about a lot over the last several years. And that's the Great Commission, y'all. And it's just, it's just spreading the good news of the gospel. If you've read a fair amount of my work, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there is a theme. There's a theme in everything I write, whether it's a book or a blog post or a Facebook post or whatever, and that theme is this. We are responsible, and we must be intentional for seeking the truth. We're not going to get the truth from a television preacher. We're not going to get the truth from someone on the radio or from some revelation in a self-help book at Barnes & Noble. The journey of truth is one of self-intention. And I believe that when we're seeking the truth, when we have an earnest heart, the way that God works is that He'll reveal Himself to us, and that's just how it works. So my calling is the Great Commission, and then all of those other things, my love and my family and my gift of writing and my passion for food, all those things come together. I think ultimately they can come together in a way that serves our calling. They all come together in different ways for different things. And again, I have to think about those things visually because sometimes I'm too focused on my gift, or sometimes I may be too focused on my love, and I'm not filling those other buckets. And I'm trying to spin all these plates. I don't know if any of this makes sense. If it doesn't, call me and we'll have a personal counseling session about it. But anyway, when I think about my life, and y'all, I'm not kidding you. It's helped me so much. I think about my love, my passion, my gift, and my calling. Think about that sometimes. Sit down and write those things down. Take a look at what they are, think about them, think about how they manifest themselves in your life, and think about what you might do with that. So that is one thing. I'm sorry it went for 15 minutes. I'm so sorry. There's some other stuff here in the newsletter today you're going to want to take a look at. Thanks for spending time with me. Thanks for reading the Sunday Share. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys. Thank you for reading. Thank you for all your support. I'll see you next time. God bless. Bye bye.